Okay, I'm here with Mrs. Jones, and she is seventh grade reading, and we're going to engage in her pre observation conference, and we're going to focus on assessment for this unit. And Ms. Jones, can you tell me what is the purpose for your lesson, or what are the goals for your lesson?
Well, we're trying to make sure that we stick with the standard of the learning to use the strategies to become independent and proficient readers.
Okay. So, was there a pre assessment or status check at the beginning of the lesson, and why or why not?
We did a pre-test so we can see what the children know and don't know.
Okay. And why did you perform the pretest?
Well, we performed the pre-test because, when you're teaching the lesson, you want to be sure that you're teaching them something that's going to help them to know more. If they already know it, it's just like teaching nothing.
Okay. What prior assessments impacted the planning of this lesson, and how did they impact it?
Can you say that again?
What prior assessments impacted the planning of this lesson or this unit, and how have they impacted? Did you do you done the pre-assessment, but what prior assessments have you used that impacted where you wanted to go with your lesson?
We did the Lexile level test to see where they were in their reading level so that we can see if they kind of balance out with the information that they didn't know. Because that might help us know why they don't know it because of their Lexile level. They can't read and comprehend, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we also, the main thing is that they use a star too. But they usually don't do that till like the third week of school. So we only did the Lexile test because we needed some data.
Okay. So are there any checks within the lesson? What do you do to assess where the students are or how they're grasping the content?
Well, the way we monitor the students is that we do anecdotal, we do reading conferencing, bringing the children into, and that's something new for me right now. I'm trying to learn how to do the conferencing, but the one that I saw, it was pretty good. I just need to get a real good grasp on how to do that myself, but it's very effective.
Okay. So, you during your lesson you do or during your reading workshops you do conferencing and you take your records. Is there a status check or a ticket out the door at the conclusion of the lesson?
Well, when you do the status check, you just kind of do it individually, so you're able to actually get a real good compass on what they know. So a ticket out the door is good, but their ticket out the door they have to write their name on their sticky that they put on, so I can be sure of who knows what.
Okay, so you do use the ticket out the door as one way to assess. Okay.
Yes.
Are there a variety of assessments planned within the unit or lesson? Or do you mainly assess, using your conferences, your records, or your ticket out the doors? Do you have? Go ahead.
Okay, I use common assessments, and I also do, how you do the ongoing assessments, the formative. You just, you do, test that skill.
Okay.
I usually try to give some form of a quiz weekly.
Okay.
So that, or just before I change to a new skill, I try to assess that old skill just so we can make sure that everybody's on the same page.
Okay. Does content validity exist within the assessment?
Yes, I think content validity exists because if we don't test them on what we teach, then it's not fair to the children. So I try to make sure all my tests are the same, they relate to whatever I've taught.
Do you make those tests, or are those tests that you get from the textbooks? Or a mixture?
Both.
Okay. And where I'm going with that is, do you see, is there an absence of bias within some of these assessments?
Well, I think it is. It can be biased depending on the selection because if kids don't have any background information or any prior knowledge about the things that go on in the text, then they could, it could be biased and culturally biased, that is, based on their exposure.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to, head that off by exposing them to those things that are going to be culturally biased so they can see what it looks like.
Okay. Well, I will be in to observe you in your lesson, and then we will meet again for your post conference with your post conference based off the observation and the feedback.
Okay.